Well, with the fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time, we pick up where we left off with the Gospel reading. Last week, Jesus had proclaimed the passage from Isaiah, where he says, he's come to, preach good news to the poor, release the captives, and all those good and healing things. And he says, look, I'm the one who's going to do it. And so today we pick back up, and all those who heard him were amazed at his words. They were blown away by what he had to say. And then they stopped and thought. They said, wait a second, isn't this the son of the carpenter? And they start to doubt, right? That familiarity with who he is, begins to sow seeds of doubt in their hearts. And he, kind of comes back at them. He challenges them pretty good, but and reminds them that it isn't just because of who they are as the people of Israel that they're going to come to the realization of the gift that he has to bring them. They're still going to need to come to faith. It isn't just because they're labeled Israelite that they're going to receive the gift. They still have to receive it. They still have to be converted. It reminds me. Sometimes there's a lot of jokes and actually real situations where people will express whether they realize what they're saying or not, but they'll say, oh yeah, I'm going to go to heaven because I'm Catholic, or that rule doesn't apply to me because I'm Catholic, and it's like, well, just because we are Catholic doesn't mean that we don't have to receive the gift that God has to offer us. Doesn't mean that our hearts don't have to be converted and really come to true faith and personal relationship with him. So anyway, by the end of the gospel, the people are ready to kill him. Like wow, what a 0 to 100 in like next to no seconds. What an amazing turn of events. That at first they're blown away by what he has to say, and by the end of the event, they're ready to kill him. But so in kind of a unique way, that drastic shift, reminds me actually of the second reading. Going back to St. Paul, and he's getting back into the spiritual gifts here. He says, strive for the greatest spiritual gifts. But if you don't have love, all of the gifts that you exercise are for naught, right? So we hear this reading quite a bit, especially at weddings, sometimes at funerals. Love is patient, love is kind, all on down the line. And I think a lot of people connect with it in a way that I don't think they realize, it's sort of a, when you feel good about a situation or you feel good about somebody, then that's the way you're going to act. You're going to be patient, you're going to be kind, you're going to be all of these things, You're not going to be jealous, you're not going to be rude, and on down the line, But it's not really like that, right? So the hearers of Jesus' sermon, at first they feel pretty good, and they're like, wow, this guy's amazing, and they're patient, loving, kind, not rude or jealous. But then as Jesus starts to challenge them, and say, you're gonna reject me. They don't feel so good about the situation anymore. What happens? Well, they're not loving anymore. They lose their patience. They're certainly not kind or patient or, I think I already said that, but rude and all of those things. Like they just turn on a dime. It's a reminder for us that love isn't just that good feeling that causes us to act in a certain way towards other people, but it's a combination of the two, right? Like sometimes, yeah, there's going to be a sense of affection, but there's always an opportunity for a choice to be patient, kind, loving, not rude or jealous, and again, on down the line. Yeah, there's going to be times you're going to feel pretty good about somebody or a situation. But there's sometimes you're still not going to feel good, but you need to choose love for the other. And the identifiers are all of those things on that list. So, Jesus speaks words of challenge into your life too. How do you react? Or you always feel good about him, when he challenges you to be better, live a life of perfect fidelity to him? Probably not, And in those times, you still need to choose love of God and love of neighbor. So allow the Lord to challenge you today, and even when the days you don't feel like it, respond to him with love, respond to your neighbor in love. May we live together as the body of Christ, certainly not separated from the head, Jesus, but always laying down our lives and surrendering to him and his will.